Alrighty, so here we go. Another stream, another Wednesday. Hey, Casey, what's up? Today I am going to start a mix from scratch, and I picked something that I did several years ago. Of course, I pulled it up a little while ago, and I didn't realize I had a bunch of tracks on it. So yeah, let's go over to the DAW view. Harper. Oh, I got Harper here today, and Kit is not here right now. She had an appointment. She'll be back at some point during the stream, so I'm not going to be able to keep up with chat as much as I normally do. But this is the song right here. I'm gonna start it from scratch because people have been asking about that, and it's got a ton of tracks on it, more than I expected. Hold on a sec. Okay. All right. So I'll just play you a little bit. Well, let me say this. When people always ask about starting a mix, one of the first things I always tell them is, you know, let's say you got a bunch of tracks from a client and you drop them into your DAW. It's going to basically look like this. All these faders going to be up here high, like up at 0. You don't really want that. What you want to do to start off with, so you don't end up overdriving all your plugins and all your auxiliary sends and returns and all that, is group them all and bring them down a lot. I bring them down like, when I'm coming down like 17 dB. That's the first thing to do. I'm going to push the master fader back up. Number one thing, bring all your faders down when you're starting. Then after that, you know, you just got to go through and listen to what you have in the song. And I kind of know what I got in here, I think, but it's been a few years. It's probably been 2 or 3 years since I mixed this thing. So I'm going to just kind of remind myself what I got in here. This is all just everything at one volume. Oh, hold on. Let me turn on this power amp. Yeah, it might help if you have the power amp monitors on. I've got some cymbal swells on some tracks here. I've got these little toms in here. I've got a bass. I've got kick drum. Got some drums. And this is a mixture of live drums and stuff that I overdubbed. So for instance, I had a drummer come in and play. I did a 3 microphone recording on the drum. So that's this here. I think I had an extra room mic here. Had tambourine in there. And then we've got our acoustic. And there's no EQ or compression or anything on these right now. I do record with EQ and compression, but there's nothing on. Everything's just all dry and flat right now. Here's mandolin. And I've got, of course, I think I got 4 mandolin tracks in all, because there's just one big section here, but I've got like these melody lines here and harmonies. These. I've got hammer dulcimer. I've got multiple tracks of hammer dulcimer. And I can tell you right off the bat, I know this needs to be in stereo. Let me pan those. I got fiddle tracks in here. I got a bunch of fiddle, like right here. And then I had this whole section where I had him creating a pad. I've also got lap steel. Woo, that's loud. Turn that down. What's this? Oh, I've got mountain dulcimer, which is a different type of dulcimer. That might be doubled. I don't know. Hold on. Oh, yeah, it's definitely doubled right there. Oh, yeah, I got a lot in here. What's this? I've got, oh, More mandolin. Oh no, that's acoustic guitar. And then I've got vocals. And I had him do the vocals twice, and then I comped between these two different takes. So I've got his vocals on two different tracks here. I thank God for the times we live, that I can hear your voice from so many. And that's actually not uncommon. Like, often have a client come in and sing, and on another day have them sing it all again, and then just pick what I like from both takes. I've got a little bit of background vocals. I've got a bunch of humming in here for the bridge section. This is all stuff I did. Which all needs to be panned. Although he might have done some of that because it's kind of low. Let me pan all that. All those can come way down. But what I'm going to do is start with, I'm going to turn off all the vocals. I'm going to start with the main thing, which would be acoustic guitar, because that's what it's built on. Hey, Mill, what's up, man? Let's see. So let me go back to my acoustic, which is, the whole thing's kind of built around this one acoustic guitar part. So what do I have here? I'm going to play this. Actually, let me just mute everything and start with the acoustic. I'm going to do, put a fab filter on here. I'm going to do a high pass filter. I'll get rid of this sub stuff I don't need. Now, since I'm close miking, it gets a little boomy once in a while. No, on the dulcimer, it was double mic'd. I had it in stereo. I always get a little boom on the acoustic right around 100 hertz or so. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a dynamic EQ here. Just knock that down a little bit. It's actually not bad, but I'm just gonna knock it down a teeny bit. And then, are we? Oh yeah, we're running here. I've got a couple different options for compression. I'm going to try, I like this one a lot, the CLA 3A. That was pretty cool. I also like this one. This is the Manic compressor. I'm going to sidechain it so it's not being affected by the low frequencies quite so much. And then I'm going to just give it a little bit of like 4-to-1 here. Attack, I don't know, 6 milliseconds or so. I'm going to hit it just a little bit. I don't need a lot. Like that. I'll start with that. Then I'm going to bring in the mandolin. Let me get to where I'm actually playing the mandolin instead of just a little chunky stuff there. Mandolin's going to need a bit more compression because I was playing it and I'm a little more inconsistent. I'm going to do a high pass filter, get rid of some stuff I don't need down there. And it could probably be a little brighter maybe. Yeah, I want that little pick sound in there. And of course, I'm always a big fan of mid-range. I'm gonna try this CLA 3A on here. I like that. Now let me bring in the lead vocals just to see what they sound like, since they are the big part of the mix here. Oh, here we go. Let me bring these up.
Your mama's gotta work.
I'm gonna go ahead and put a little reverb on the vocals just to give it a vibe.
More than I need us.
All right, so let's go verb vocal. I'm gonna send these 3 vocals to there.
Oh, more than I need.
And I'll use I'm gonna use the Valhalla Vintage Verb.
Damn it, I wanna fly you out.
Not that big.
To where I play tonight.
It can be smaller.
Damn it, when I get off stage, I just wanna hold you.
I think I want a room.
But I can't afford to raise you on the run. Your mama's
I just want it more intimate sounding.
You need her more than I need us.
You know, one thing about vocals is, whoops, that's not what I wanted. And reverb, you know, I went for years never using reverb on vocals and only did delays because reverb can just really muddy up a mix. So I'm going to do what I did back in the day, and that is I'm going to try just doing some delay first before I get into all the reverb stuff. So I'm going to send to a stereo bus here, and this aux on the vocals. And another thing is when I do my auxiliary sends to effects, I always start them up at 0. It's part of my gain structure. I don't keep these things down here. I start by sending a nice strong signal and then keeping my return low. And what I do on the delay, I just feel like this helps give the vocal some space and not sound so dry without getting muddy. So I'll do this.
I thank God for the time.
Oh, hold on. Wrong output. Here we go.
I thank God for the times we lived.
So I've got like, I can actually shorten that up. Like I'm going to do 125 milliseconds on the left and 135 milliseconds on the right. Feedback's very short, 3%. You know, and I'm going to put a little bit of modulation on it, just so it kind of is not so perfect. It's just going to warble it ever so slightly. And then I just barely put in there.
Your mama's gotta work.
Why am I using 2 EQs? No, I'm only using 1 EQ. I might have had 2 on the screen, Mill 3. I am definitely using the Pro Q3 for the dynamic thing. I actually use that EQ mostly for reducing frequencies, not for boosting so much. But no, I only had 1 EQ on that instrument because I had I had one on the acoustic and then 1 on the mandolin. So you might have been seeing, it might have looked like I was putting 2 EQs on 1 instrument.
I thank God for the time.
So like just a short little delay on there like that. I'll turn it off. Then I turn it back on. It's just kind of like a short room, a small room. It allows me to use a lot less reverb on the vocals. So now I just got a little bit of reverb in there. I'm going to move this here so I can see the level.
You need her more than I need us.
Oh yeah, just a teeny bit of feedback. Check it out. 3%. Just barely anything for this setting right here. I actually do a similar thing on rap snare drum sometimes, but I'll run that feedback up to like 50%. So let me see, what are the other main instruments in here? So I've got lead vocal, acoustic guitar. I've got drums through most of it. You know, one of the things I'll do when I'm mixing is start at the loudest point, but this thing has so many tracks. I don't know if I want to get that far into it. Let me just back up and put a little bass guitar on this thing, and then we'll creep our way towards the louder sections.
Get off stage, I just want to hold you tight, but I can't afford to raise you on the run.
Here's the bass.
Your mama's gotta work.
Ooh. barely hear it.
You need her more than I need us.
This is probably Robbie Hanley on bass, I'm thinking. Yeah, I think it is. He's a way better bass player than me. So here's what I normally put on bass.
I thank God for the times we live, that I can hear your voice from so many hundred miles away. But if I had a choice, damn it, I would fly you out to where I play tonight.
Where are my drums at?
Damn it, when I got off stage, I would hold you tight.
Oh yeah, I got these kicks in
But
here.
I can't afford to raise you on the run. Your mama's gotta work. You need her.
Oh yeah, I got this. These are supposed to be pretty far in the background.
Oh, more than I need us. But damn it, I wanna fly you out to where I play tonight. But damn it, when I get off stage,
I think I'm going to do something else here. This is something I do a lot when I'm mixing. I'm going to make a master fader and a master instrument fader and a master vocal fader. So we're going to go instrument, master, and then we're going to go vocal, master. I have a lot of reasons why I do that. Started doing that when I started getting more into country music. I got a preset here that I like to use, and I'm going to set that up because I know I'm going to want to do that. Vocal master. And both of them have this plugin on it. This is the UBK, oh man, what's the name of it? Kush Audio UBK. So I'm going to put those on either side of the main master here. They have their inputs for these are instrument master, of course, on this bus, and vocal master there. So what I got to do now is go to all the instruments and tell them to go to the instrument master. So I select them all, and I change all the instruments to the instrument master. Boom. And then all the vocals and their effects are going to go to the vocal master. There we go. Yeah, Pro Tools Mill 3 is expensive, especially I don't do the subscription thing because I've been on them on Pro Tools for so long. I got grandfathered in, so I got to pay like $100 a year because I've been on this thing since the 90s, but I would never pay subscription. If I had to pay subscription, I'd do something else. Okay, so I'm going to copy the reverb I have on the vocals. I duplicated that track. I'm going to make this the instrument reverb. It's going to be the same settings basically. But I want to run this one into the vocal, the instrument master, and I'm going to choose its input as verb instrument because I want to put a little reverb on this acoustic guitar. And I know I'm jumping around kind of fast because I want to get some progress on this song in the hour that I'm allowing myself for the stream.
get off stage, I just want to hold you tight.
Just need a little bit.
But I can't afford to raise you on the run. Your mama's gotta work.
I'm going to add a little something to this acoustic.
More than I need us.
Just got a little something up there.
More than I need us.
Now there's this theme here that I want to get in there on the mandolin. I've got this mandolin theme in the chorus, and then it goes in the post-chorus right here. So I've got another mandolin track here.
I can't afford to raise.
So it does that, and then we have this melody. And I want all that to pop out a lot in the mix because it's an important melody. So I'm going to go to that first mandolin. I'm going to put a high pass filter on it because I don't want any of that down there. But I'm going to put a compressor on it that I want to hit harder because I want it to really pop in the mix. So let me play that. I'm just going to play that first mandolin.
I can't afford to raise you on the run. Your mama's gotta work. You need her more than I need us.
Now let me put some reverb on that.
Oh, more than I need her.
That's nice.
I can't afford to raise you on the run. Your mama's gotta work.
There's a lot of nice richness and boldness in the mid-range on a mandolin. So I'm going to boost that up, give it a lot of body. But I also want some high end on it. Yeah, I think I can give it more compression.
Your mama's gotta work.
And then we got this other mandolin here. I'm going to copy the settings over. Oh, wow. So we got somebody from you're in the Himalayas in Pakistan. Holy crap, that's really cool, man. Nice. Nice to see you here on the other side of the world, on the roof of the world. That's really awesome.
I can't afford to raise you on the run. Your mama's gotta work.
Hey, studio dude. Hey, man, I put up a notice. I guess you didn't get the notification. I put up I scheduled this stream, and 2 days ago, and I would think that you would have been like notified somehow. The only thing I can say, studio dude, is get on my Discord channel because I'm getting good about this. I'm posting notifications on Discord because I can't rely on YouTube to let everybody know that I'm streaming. So sorry, man, because I was thinking about you today, and I was thinking like, I hope he's there. Hey, nice to see you from Finland. Boo-hoo. Awesome. All right, let me blend in this mandolin here.
I can't afford to raise you on.
And then I got dulcimer in that little section too. That's my hammer dulcimer. I'm gonna put a little reverb on that too. You know what, Mill, you were asking if this was... I think this is actually... I might have doubled this. This might be 2 different takes. I don't know if it's stereo. I recorded this so long ago. It looks pretty accurate, although I might have edited the heck out of it. This might be in stereo. It might be doubled. I actually can't tell right here. I don't know. But there's a lot of... I think I've got multiple hammer dulcimer tracks on this song. Why? Because I do that sort of thing.
You need her more than I need us.
So it creates a nice harmony. And hammer dulcimer is one of my favorite things to layer behind like an acoustic guitar that's picking or mandolin. Such a great sound. All right, love from Africa, Ghana, Africa. Nice. Dream J, get me on. It's nice to see you. Hey, oh, Kit's here. I think she walked in the door. Maybe she'll come join us. Oh, okay, studio dude. Yeah, DAW subscriptions. I don't have any subscription. Well, I have one, and I'm about to get rid of it. It's for something relating to YouTube and whatever, man. It's some service I'm probably going to get rid of. I don't have any subscriptions for anything else. I think that's a scam. if I was forced to do the subscription with Pro Tools, I'd switch to something else, man.
You need help.
I'm going to come back and look at the drums real quick because I know I want to get him in there. I don't remember everything about the drums on this. I do know that I had recorded these drums 2 ways. I did a whole, you know, I'm miking every drum, every tom, and all that. And then I also, at the same time, did the 3-mic classic position. You got 1 mic out in front of the kick, 1 overhead, and 1 down by the floor tom. And I just want to see which one sounded better. On this, I kind of blended it a little bit. I think it's mostly this right here. I got them kind of low. So I have like, it's kind of like this really basic beat. So it's kind of like, it's not like a regular drum beat. Yeah, there's the kick. Actually, let me reorganize that. Put that there. And then I have the overhead. Where's he playing? Yeah, I think he only plays the snare drum in one section of this. It's really basic. I'm going to pan the overhead and the side mic apart a little bit. Then I had this CAD room mic in here. And then it says hi-hat here. And I guess, I did have a hi-hat part in there. So it's kind of a mixture of the 3-mic technique. But what I'm going to do right off the bat here, because I know I'm going to do this eventually. Oh, and then I overdubbed. No, I added kick samples. So yeah, hold on. I did this. Oh, I did bring in the close mic snare for some support. And then I added these kick samples in there. And then over here, oh no, those are overhead. So here's what I'm going to do with the drums, because I know I'm going to want to do this. I'm going to do a parallel compression. So I'm going to make 2 drum returns here. So we got drums, and then drums compressed. And make sure that they're going out to my instrument master. And, I recorded this like 3 years ago. And I'm, the Omni, you mean on the hammer dulcimers? No, probably not. I don't know. I might have actually. I'm thinking about it. You know, it's kind of funny. I don't actually have, I mean, I have things I always do. Like, I don't use templates. People always like, you're mixing and recording template. I don't, because I like to start everything kind of fresh. So I don't know exactly what I did. But, oh, you know what? Actually, and I'm thinking about it. I think on this one, I know what happened. On this one, I had like a pair of small diaphragm condensers set up and all that. And then I had like, I think I had a Sennheiser 441 kind of randomly off to the side. And I actually turned it on and I really liked it. So I think it might just be that. Might just be a single, yeah, it might be that Sennheiser. I can't remember, man. I'm terrible with this. Anyway, I'm going to put all the drums into this auxiliary return. So I'm going to send them all to that. And, of course, it messes up all my fader colors here, which always drives me nuts. I'm going to do this. I don't like seeing the gray tracks just bother me. I don't know. I have to see colors. So I'm going to give these guys some colors here. I know that's kind of silly, but I just want to see some colors. Omni on drums, yes. Sometimes I do use Omni on drum overheads. Definitely like room mics if I've got them. I like Omni mics. I use them a lot. So here's all the drums. So they're coming in this auxiliary return here. I'm going to put a EQ on it. Just got a teeny bit of a roll off at 20. Now on the track that's going to be the parallel compression, I will usually run that high pass up a little bit more. Then I'm going to put a compressor over here. Where is it? And I don't need to go crazy on this song. I'm not really going to do anything with this one. Sometimes I'll kind of just barely hit it with a teeny bit of a ratio on it. Just like 1-to-1. Yeah, I'm barely hitting it. But on the compressed track, and I don't even need to hit it too much on this. I'm going to bring these kick samples down. But I'll definitely hit this one harder. Bring the ratio up. There we go. I'm going to hit that sucker hard. I'm going to do a really super fast attack, like a millisecond. There we go. Then I'll blend them together. I don't really need that much on this song. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I created this whole... Oh yeah, okay, so I've got a lot of stuff going on. I've got this thing going on where there's these hammered dulcimers just kind of doing this little droney thing right here. It goes... They should obviously be panned. Yeah, this sounds like it was recorded in stereo here. Then I've got these... Put a little reverb on those. Oh yeah, and I was going to say, if you're having problems hearing this or watching this on Instagram, I'm also streaming on YouTube and Twitch. Oh, hey man network, what's up? And then I bring in the harmony. And then I've got a whole other melody. Wait, what is... Jeez, how many tracks of hammer dulcimer do you need on a song? It's ridiculous. I've got all this drone stuff going on here. Look at this. What was I thinking? Yeah, so I got all this going on. Oh wait, somebody's playing the melody. Who's playing the melody? Wait. Okay, there's the melody I was looking for, and I think I was just adding in extra stuff. I mixed this thing so long ago, and I don't remember everything I did. Okay, I got partway through. I did the melody at the first. Oh, I know why, because I had the melody gets taken over by different instruments. That's right. The melody starts on hammer dulcimer, moves over to mountain dulcimer or something like that. Of course, like why? Let's just make it more complicated, right? Yeah, so Mill 3, yes. Do I ever get parallel distortion? When I am doing super fast compression attacks and releases, it sounds like it's getting distorted. And sometimes I will put a little bit of like saturation or distortion on the paralleled drum track. Just depends on the song. This one, not so much. This is just like a different kind of sound. But I do use distortion a lot on different, on all sorts of things. Distortion is a great equalizer. I've also got a fiddle in this part here, just part of this pad. And this is actually where he plays some melodies here earlier. Oh yeah, so he's playing with that melody too. So I can bring down these mandolins here a little bit. Oh yeah, that's sweet. Do a little work on the fiddle here. Now one of my favorite one of my favorite plugins for fiddle is this right here. This is the Tape Head plugin. Only available in Pro Tools, unfortunately, but it's by Massey, and this is the sweetest thing. It's the best tape emulating plugin I've ever heard, but it just really warms up. I like it on fiddle. I like it on banjo. Often use it on acoustic guitars as well, but check it out. Here's the fiddle without the plugin on it. Play it without it. But if I turn it on, just thickens it up nicely. Now what I think I want to do on the fiddle here, so I want it to have its own space, so I'm gonna put a little delay on it. So I'm gonna make a mono auxiliary return, and this is gonna be echo for fiddle. Make sure that it's going to the instrument master, and I'm just gonna pick a bus here. I'll just say, I don't know, 55 is not getting used. I'm gonna go over to, well, I always color code these blue for effects. Then I'm going to go over here to the fiddle, and I'm going to send out of 55. Post fader, always post fader. Do not hit the pre button. Leave that alone. When you're doing this sort of thing, you don't really want to do this. And then I'm just going to use the Pro Tools tape delay, which I actually really like a lot. Where is it? Tape echo. Well, tape echo. Make sure the mix is on 100%. If you're going to do a return like this, if you're going to have a separate return of your effect, you know, where you're sending from the track here, and then you're sending to an effect, make sure your mix is on 100%. Oh, Mill 3, the CLA 3A is good for mostly guitars, electric guitars, just barely hit them, and acoustics. That's what I use them for a lot. And yes, I've used Logic quite a bit. Can't stand you working with it. Sounds great, but it's a pain in the butt to work with. The routing on it's really terrible. Yeah, so I mixed 2 albums. I forced myself to mix 2 albums in Logic, and I about smashed my computer, so never again. But it sounds great. You know, it's just not a good workflow. Oh, interesting. Man Network over on, I think that's on YouTube, is saying that the hammer dulcimer sounds like dissonant part of the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Oh, that's cool. Thanks. I haven't used my hammer dulcimer in a minute. Probably is the last song I've used it on. It's been sitting... No, that's not true. I've used it on something. But anyway, on the fiddle, I'm going to do this. Short that. So I've got the fiddle panned over to the left a little. Actually, I'm going to do it the other way. I'm going to put it over on the right, and then I'm going to take the left or the echo and put it to the left just a little bit, so it's like this. And that delay is only going to be there a little bit. It's just to kind of give it some space. So it'll be like this. There it is without it. Now with it. Now back in the mix. Yeah, it's one of my favorite tricks, and it's just like, it's not the sort of thing where somebody's going to go, oh, I hear echo on that. It just kind of, it's like, you know, it's like you're in a performance hall or something like that, and you're going to hear some stuff bouncing around on the walls, and it's going to be like that. Let's see, so Trey Millie 15, you're about to start mixing a rock pop artist, and you normally mix rap and R&B. mixing rock and pop. Those are actually kind of like two different subjects. Of course, it depends on the kind of rock. Well, I'll tell you this. Here's the first thing. Having done a lot of rap and having done a lot of, pop, having done everything, on rap, the drums are loud and the vocals are loud and all the instruments are kind of quiet, right? In pop, it's kind of like that too, but you can bring up the guitars. If there's any guitars in there, they can be way louder for rock. It depends on how rock it is. If you're saying rock pop, I don't know. I would need something a little more specific on that, but the musical aspects are going to be a lot more important in rock and pop than in rap. There's so many times on rap where I'm mixing and it's like there's good instruments and they just want to turn them way down. And I get it, because that's the genre. Also, I mean, I don't know. That's you're saying some broad advice. I'd say just, oh, what's up?
I'm going to Publix.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys want anything?
Can you get me a donut?
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, you asked, bro. Yeah, so guitars. So, dude, with the guitars, it's all right if they're up a little bit. Do a high-pass filter. You want to get rid of any stuff below like 40 hertz. You don't need anything down there. Mess around with the mid-range. There's going to be some great stuff on the mid-range on the guitars. It just depends on how they're recorded. There's going to be some great stuff if they're electric guitars. There's going to be some great stuff in areas that you wouldn't normally think of looking for tone, where people are usually pulling out. It's going to be what would normally be considered mud. But like 200 hertz, 300 hertz and stuff like that, there's going to be some nice, not a bunch, but some places for the meat of the electric guitars. And then if they're doubled, hard pan them. If you got doubled electric guitars, hard pan them left and right, or at least, 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, And don't be afraid to distort the vocals a little bit. Putting a little saturation on them would be really, really good. Now, I've got some, I'm going to come back to this bridge section because this is literally the loudest section of the song right here. I got to start piecing together all the sections here. It's a lot, so I'm going to loop this. So I've got these fiddle pads. These all need a little bit of the reverb. I'm just going to drag these settings over. I'm going to pan these harmonies apart. And we got this. And you know what? That needs to be quieter. He's like a lead fiddle in the rest of the song, but here he can kind of come down to blend in with his pad. So I'm going to use my volume trim and bring down the lead vocal fiddle. Okay, so we got those. Then we also have lap steel in this section, and this is something that I recorded, and I don't remember exactly what I did, but it's this. Oh, there's just one at the beginning. Let me go to the second half. What do I have going on here? I've got... Oh, cool. Okay. A little reverb on them. Actually, I can crank up the reverb on these quite a bit. So I'm going to give them a lot. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm going to do it on those fiddle pads too. So there's the lap steel. Bring in the fiddles. So the lap steel can come down. I like that blend. Let's put it with the mix. What else do I have here? I've got... Oh, I got the hammer dulcimer, or mountain dulcimer. This is definitely doubled. Oh, wait, I got another mountain dulcimer track. Wait, did I double this? Oh, Jesus. How many mountain dulcimers do you need? Wait, oh, okay. Oh, I think this is... Oh, I think that's one performance. Okay, wait. So I've got two mics. Okay, I see what's going on here. So I doubled the mountain dulcimer, so it's like this. Hey, Roxy Mo, what's up? Have a good rehearsal, Bobby. And then there's more mandolin at the end. What was I thinking? Oh, I forgot about this. Oh my God. How many parts is it? I do remember spending a long time on this mix. Now I know why, because I have in this one section here, there's two different acoustic guitars playing this other melody. I've got 4 tracks of mountain dulcimer. I've got 3 lap steels. I've got 4 fiddle tracks. More mandolin. Oh my God. There's a lot of stuff on here. This was a delicate balance. I do remember. But it's a great song, man. It's really beautiful. Oh, I forgot I got all these cymbal swells in here. I didn't even put the cymbal swells in. Let me bring these into the mix a little bit here. Right here. Oh, I should probably pan them. Hold on. I've got overhead left, right, over mic swell. Oh, okay. So it looks like I've got overheads on the cymbals. And then I blended in like some room mic. So I've got... I'm not even worrying about EQ right now. I just got to try to get some balance on all these tracks. So yeah, let me go to a louder. Where's my loudest swell? I think the loudest swell is right here going into this bridge. That sounds cool. Let me just pan these room mics out a little bit. Yeah, I think I want to bring the room mics down, rely mostly on the overheads. Although those room mics definitely help thicken it up some. Okay, those can go down. So, Trey, I use on this song, I'm using the, where is it? I'm using the Valhalla Vintage Verb. It's cool. I like it for this sort of thing, just an acoustic thing. Like I've used this on bluegrass records and, this country stuff, sometimes rock. It always feels like it's really nice sounding for that sort of thing where I don't really want a super obvious reverb, and it does sound kind of vintagey and all that. But if I want it to pop, I gotta like hit it with some. I gotta put some saturation or compression after it or something like that. That's what I'm using on this. My current favorite reverb happens to be this right here, and it's another Valhalla reverb. This Supermassive. This is a free plugin. I would go get it. It's massive. And that's why it's called Supermassive. It's actually kind of over the top. I'm actually, when I'm using it, I'm using this thing called like Lost Saucer. It is the medium setting, and I still got to shorten it a lot. And it's got a lot of modulation and chorusing on it, but man, this reverb will pop out in a mix. I like that one a lot. I also like, it's a little expensive, but I use this a lot. The Altiverb plugin. I think this one is a little bit pricey, but it is impulse response reverb, meaning they've gone to locations and there's a way you can set it up with microphones and you play these tones on some speakers in a room or a church or whatever, and then you record the what the room sounds like with these particular tones going in there, and then you take that recording and drop it in the plugin and it'll recreate the reverb from that location. So I've got like, this thing's got like all these different concert halls in it. These are actual, you know, is not exactly perfect, but they've got like here, this is the Royal College of Music in London, and you can see they've got like different locations where they put the mics, you know, like, oh, here's one where it was 26 meters out, you know, or for instance, one I use a lot that I really like is they've got the 20th Century Fox scoring stage right here, and it's got like different placements of the microphones. I use this a lot. Actually, I use this this reverb on drums a lot. But I also do it because I've done a bit of work for like film stuff, like independent films, and kind of like to like just the mixing and then dealing with the dialogue and effects and all Foley and all that stuff. And that plugin actually has settings for like the inside of a car or a dining room or something like that. So it's pretty cool. Oh yeah. Yeah, once again, like I said, if you're having a problem on Instagram, switch over to YouTube or Twitch, because Instagram is off and on, off and on. Oh yeah, let me bring my hums in. Oh, I got my hums right here. Where are they? Here they go. So I want to treat all those together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an auxiliary return. Is it auxiliary or auxiliary? Auxiliary. Harper, what is it? Is it auxiliary or auxiliary?
I think it's like auxiliary.
Auxiliary? Why do I say auxiliary?
I don't know.
All right. So this is my hum subgroup. So I'm going to make sure it's going out to my vocal master. And then I have a bus called Group Vocals. And I got to give it a color. Let's just do that. And then I'm going to take all the hum tracks. I'm going to highlight them all. I'm going to hold down Option and Shift. And I'm going to change their output to the group vocals. So now, and I can turn them up a little bit more now. So now they're all going to come to here. So now I can control them all together. Put some reverb on them. It's a little thick on the low end. I'm gonna do this. Natural phase. I'm gonna do a high pass filter because I don't need this down here. It's a little heavy down here. Hold on. Put it back in the mix. Yeah, just do a little dynamic EQ here. Just think it's mudding up the mix a little bit. And then probably could use some mid-range.
David, I wanna fly you out.
Weird, there's like a hole right here in these vocals, like right on 5K. Should we fill the hole? Like, I will. What the hell? They ain't doing much. But I think that's fine. So, Mill, you're saying, I see you're using location markers. I don't know why, but I struggle to use them every time I try to mess them up. I use them. The funny thing is like I've got all these location markers in here mainly for when I'm tracking, so that I can, like, when I'm working with singers or guitar players or whatever, I'm jumping around all over the place. So I need to, like, be able to bring up my menu here and go, oh, hey, I'm going to the verse 2 or second chorus or, you know, the build, breakdown, bridge. So I use them a lot, but once I get into mixing, I don't actually, I guess I don't use them that much. Once I get into mixing, I'm barely touching these things, man. I'm working on some courses videos right now. Like I'm working on a live drum mixing course, and I'm actually using the locations a lot in the process of making those videos because I need to make sure that I can, zero in on one particular place. But those get put in there mainly for tracking. Well, I've been streaming almost an hour now, guys. I can't really stream too long today. If anybody's got any questions, see you later, studio dude. I could answer some questions if anybody's got some last minute questions here. I don't know what happened to Instagram. Oh, it's in and out. Oh, thanks, Big Banks. Good to see you here. If anybody's got any questions about mixing, or production or recording or anything, let me know. I'm going to stream a few more minutes here, but if there's anything anybody wants to ask about, I will be here for at least 5 more minutes before I jump off and get back to work. And I'm also realizing, my goal today had been to, mix this song, like start a song from scratch, and then I picked this one, and it's got a lot of tracks on it, so I'll probably have to come back to this on another stream. I've got a lot of things I wanted to show, like this. I got this thing here that kind of creates extra low end on the kick drum. I didn't do anything with the tambourine. I normally have a huge reverb on the tambourine and some other tricks that I do. I didn't do any EQ or compression or anything on most of the acoustic instruments. I wanted to put delay on the lap steel here. I haven't even done anything on the vocals here. There's no, I have no EQ or anything on that. So, that I'll probably have to swing back to this on another stream and finish this mix. Even though I already mixed it for the record, I don't mind working on this one again. I really like this song a lot. Oh, let me bring down that fiddle. Beautiful song.
Someday maybe you will understand why I live this way.
So beautiful. So yeah, my workflow, Trey, it's you're saying do volume control. I'm not going to do any volume automation too early. I mean, I did do it on that one fiddle part there, but the first thing, well, let me say this. First off, let me say this. It's going to be a little different if I'm mixing something I recorded versus one of my clients, because sometimes people send in and it's just like, ooh, I got to do some EQ on something. And I guess I've been thinking about this a lot since I'm working on these mixing courses. Like, how do I explain this? Because I've been doing this for so long and I've never really had to explain it. But I think the idea for me when I'm mixing is I tend to look for what is the worst sounding thing in the mix. If it's an important part. If it's not an important part, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'll figure it out later. But if you have really bad vocals, or like the vocals sound really bad, or the drums aren't good, yeah, I'm going to go in and work on some EQ first. It's like, oh, that sound. It's like I could just do a rough mix with a bad sound, but then once you start EQing, it's going to change everything. So if I have issues, yeah, I'm going to go through and do a little bit of EQ, but only to make things not terrible, right? Things that are really super obvious. And then I'm going to keep working on this rough mix. I kind of like what I'm doing here. I'm not doing a lot of EQing. Like, one of the main things I did on a bunch of these was like, that's not a great example there, but on a bunch of them, I was just putting like a high pass. Well, okay, I'm lying. Here we go. High pass filter, like here on the fiddle. I don't know exactly how I want to EQ the fiddle just yet, but I do know I don't need this stuff down here. So if I'm going to go through, it's like, well, I'll just throw that on there. It's going to start cleaning up that low end, because the only thing that should be down in the super low end on any mix, for most part, for this, pop music, country music, whatever, the stuff we're listening to, is going to be bass guitar or a synth bass, your drums, like your kick drum, maybe a synthesizer, but your vocals, like for instance on vocals, you know, like here we are in my vocal master, I usually put an EQ, and I got a couple different ones I use, but for instance, I'll just grab this one here. All my vocals are going to get a high pass filter at 100 hertz. There's nothing usable down there, but you will get some noise. There might, you know, cumulatively. Harper, help me out here.
I think it's. I don't know. If
We don't know how to say it, but you will get some low end rumble built up there, like popping and stuff. So I'll do that if I don't have anything else to do, like that I'm sure of. But yes, so I'll do a lot of volume stuff. Then I'll go work on EQs. But the main thing too, Mill, is as you're working on your mix, is don't stick with one thing too long. Don't EQ one instrument for a half hour, soloed up and all that. I'm constantly jumping around. Like you saw today, I was going to vocals, I was going to guitar, I was going to drums, I was going to bass. It's sometimes a little easy to get distracted. Sometimes I keep a little piece of paper next to me here to write down something I need to know that I got to come back to. But the best thing you could do when you're mixing is not spend too much time on any one thing. You've got to like constantly, the thing with mixing is like you're like microscoping in on one little thing, then you're stepping out. It's like this. Mixing is kind of like this. If you think about looking at something, you're in, and then you're out. Then you're in, then you're out, and you're getting different perspectives. And right here, you guys can't see it, but I've got 2 sets of speakers here, and I'm constantly switching between them, and I'm constantly adjusting the volume. That's another thing, changing the volume. My monitoring volume while I'm mixing is a big part of whether or not it's, what's going on with the mix, It's all about perspective, and that's why people, I think, their mixes aren't so good, because they don't know how to balance the global perspective with the focused perspective on instruments. You have to be able to jump around between all these things to be able to master mixing. It's not just about EQs and compression and all these tricks. A lot of it is like perspective and your workflow and, being able to pull out. I used to do this thing where I'd work on my instrument mixing for hours and hours and hours, and then I'd turn on the vocals and go, something's not right. And then I'd realize that I needed to bring the vocals in. And it's, sometimes I would be afraid to, and I wouldn't do it. And then later on I realized, there's something going on with the vocals, and they're kind of messing with the mid-range on the guitar. So you got to constantly turn things off and on. And I will work on EQs with things soloed up, but then you got to unsolo them, put them in the mix, run the volume up and down, bring the vocals in, bring them out, constantly. It's just a reality check, because it's easy to fool yourself when you're mixing and thinking you're doing a great job when you're not. You're just going down a rabbit hole, and it's cool. But if you got a bunch of guitars, you gotta see how everything mixes together, especially guitars and drums. And I think you were asking about pop and rock. Another thing was saying guitars have a lot of mid-range, as do drums. Keep that in mind. You could be adjusting the EQ on the snare drum, and it's going to make you think that your guitars have more or less mid-range. It's weird how that works. So keep that in mind, that you're going to have to carve out sections where you're going to want to boost the mid-range on the electrics, but then maybe boost a different frequency on your snare drum or something like that. But make sure you're all not fighting for the same spot. But, thanks for the follow, Cliffside Productions. Appreciate that. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream and get back to work. And, hold on. Cliffside, you're saying you joined the stream late. What's the logic behind starting with all the track? Yeah, okay, so, the master fader is at plus 3D for the stream, because I'm watching OBS here, so ignore my master fader. I would normally have that at 0, and I was looking at OBS, and this song's really quiet, so I kept turning it up. Now the faders are low, and I went over this when I started the stream. This is a song I mixed years ago, and it's got a ton of tracks on it. but I was like pretending like, oh, this is something that somebody sent me. So like if somebody sends you something and you drop it in your DAW, all your faders typically are going to all start at 0. And if you start mixing from there, you're going to start pushing things up and you're going to be overdriving, you know, your master. Or if you're going to like be running any of them into an auxiliary return, like a subgroup or something like that. I think one of the big mistakes people make when they're mixing is they start with all the faders too high. And then you get in this situation where everything's just pushing too hard. You're pushing too hard in the master. You're starting to redline plugins and all that. And then you're like, let me group everything and bring them down. And then you're kind of like working backwards. So I actually, at the beginning of this thing, I brought all my faders down to like, it was like negative 17 dB. And my theory behind it is that if you find that your mix is a little too low and not hot enough, it's a lot easier to turn up like your master, or maybe edge up one of the tracks here and there that you just want more power. It's easier to do that than to realize that everything's too loud and have to work backwards. So that's why they're pretty low right now. I found myself I mixed myself into a corner a couple times and was overdriving everything, and then, you know. So that's kind of why I do that. Let me see if there's any more questions from anybody. I will be back next Wednesday. I'm still trying to figure out what time I'm going to be streaming at on Wednesdays. Today I started at 1:30. I've done 1 o'clock. I've done 2 o'clock. It always seems to be a pretty good time. I'll have an announcement up. I'm announcing these on YouTube and Twitch early. Instagram's a little weird. I could do a post, but I don't know if anybody ever catches it. I'd encourage everybody to get on my Discord. And I think my Discord link is in my link tree, which is in my profile on Instagram. And Kit Mama, if you're up there, can you throw up the Discord link? If anybody wants to follow me on Discord, I've got... I make announcements on there. Also, I, always put a link to the newest YouTube video and stuff like that up there. So if you want to be able to follow me and know what's going on, get on the Discord. I'm slow to get more active on that, but I've gotten pretty good at putting up notifications for all my streams. Of course, did I? Yeah, I did. I did do a notification. Yeah, I did do a notification for this one. So, hopefully Kit will get the... Okay, I see the... Okay, so Kit Mama, you put the link up on YouTube. Yeah, if you could throw it over there on Instagram and on... Okay, so she's got the link up. So everybody follow my Discord. And also it's a good place if you got more questions. And I'm going to be doing other announcements because I'm working on mixing courses. I'm working on a live drum mixing course. I'm also going to have a live drum recording course. I'm going to have some vocal production courses and all sorts of stuff. So that's all going to be coming out at some point. So anyway, I appreciate everybody watching and being involved and asking questions. I am going to get back to work, but I'll be back next Wednesday. Y'all take it easy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting, and I'll see you later. Take 2, take 3, take 4, take 5, take whatever.